Hey, just curious. How's my mom doing it? Is she still alive or has she finally kicked the bucket? I mean, please don't tell me that old bag of bones is still kicking around here. That'll be just too much. When is she finally going to give it a rest?
Sorry, what? What is that even supposed to mean? I mean, are you really saying that about your own mother? I'm sorry, but that just seems too cruel a way to talk about family, even for someone like you, Ted.
Well, I heard that she called for an ambulance to go to her house recently. So is that true? Did she really have to go and do something like that? What happened? Please tell me that it was something serious. I really need some good news in my life right now. I mean, when I first heard that she called the paramedics to her place, I figured that must have meant that her disease finally worsened, and she finally bit the dust, maybe. But I don't really know, so I really want you to confirm this information for me. Please tell me about why my mom called the ambulance to her house. I just have no actual idea why she would be going and doing something like that.
So you heard about the ambulance, but you're not even going to check on how your mom is doing? Or I guess you are checking on how she's doing it, but you're doing it in probably the worst way possible. I mean, really, how could you even be talking about your own mother like this? What is the matter with you? I just don't understand at all why you're acting like this, Ted. You really have some issues. Do you know that? I mean, honestly, what kind of person would ever talk about their own family like you are?
I would say that I actually care about my mom, but the fact of the matter is that she really just isn't that high of a priority for me. I'm just so busy with work. I really don't have the time to keep up with every little thing that old bat does. And so anyways, all I really have time for is to keep up with what people are saying about her. But I'm not going to waste my life actually going to ask after her. I just don't have that kind of time in my life. But could you go and check on her for me? I mean, if you don't already know why it is that she had to call the ambulance in the first place, that is. I really have no idea. And this is the whole reason why I started texting you in the first place. If I did know why she needed to go and do something like that, then I never would have even sent you a message in the first place. Between you and my mom, I just don't really know who I want to talk to less. Or have you already done so? Do you know how she is? Is she still breathing? Please tell me that she's finally kicked the bucket, and that I will never, ever have to think about her again. Can you please tell me that? If you told me that my mom was finally dead, you won't have to get anything from me for the next 5 Christmases. Do you understand me? Please, I really need this.
Ted, what is the matter with you? Why are you talking about your mom's health like that? I mean, really, I do not think I know of a single person who would talk about their own parents' health this way. And the fact that you keep asking after her health, just hoping for the worst results, honestly says so much to me. I really wish you wouldn't be like this. I mean, you can be just so unpleasant sometimes. Are you really not concerned with her health at all? And I don't just mean concerned about if she's still alive or not. I want to know if you even care at all about your mom's health and well-being. Because I just can't understand why someone would want to hear that their mom died as badly as you do right now.
What is that supposed to mean? Of course I'm worried. Why else would I even bother messaging you if I wasn't worried? You really think that I'm not worried about any of this at all? Honestly, why do I have to waste my time talking with you? I just don't understand where you get off talking to me like this. You really do have a chip on your shoulder, do you know that? I know that she's just your mother-in-law, but she is still my mom, you know? And I think that you should be showing just a little more respect to me, not only as your husband, but as the son of the woman who was just hospitalized. You really do have some nerve, do you know that? Which makes me wonder, it's why you're pretending to be so concerned about her health, huh? After all, here you are talking down to me about my own mother. If you could ever even care more about her than I do. You really think that you have more concern for my mother than I do for her? You really need to learn your place, do you know that? It can be so difficult to deal with sometimes.
Pretending? I'm not pretending anything. You were the one just talking about how pumped you would be to hear if your mom had died. I'm not pretending to care for her, but I think that that's all that you're concerned with, then I can safely say that I thought you really didn't seem to be worried about her at all. I am just as worried about your mom's health as I would be my health. I know that she's my stepmother, but that is one reason why I do want to make sure that she's okay. But your mom is also just a nice woman, and I would hate to hear that anything bad happened to her. I mean, I think that's just basic human empathy there, don't you think? In fact, I don't even understand how you could even say something like that to me, Ted. That really hurts my feelings. Honestly, why don't you ever think about the effect that your words have on others? Why am I always having to put up with this crappy attitude of yours? I mean, really, just why do you think that this kind of behavior is okay for an adult to have?
Oh, right. Forgot how emotional you get over this kind of things. Ugh, honestly, I don't understand how women even survive today, getting so upset over the most simple things. I should have known that I'm not even allowed to joke with you about these kind of things anymore. You're just way too sensitive about everything. You can only see me having the worst of intentions with the things that I say.
Emotion? You seriously did not just say that, right? I really hope that you're drunk or you hit your head or that you've had your phone stolen and that I'm not even talking to you right now. Because I have no idea why you think that that kind of blatant sexism is even remotely okay to pull with me. What is the matter with you?
Come on. Don't go getting any more upset now. It's not my fault I know you so well. You just always wear your heart on your sleeve. You have no idea how much of an easy target that always makes yourself. Do you ever get tired of letting yourself get so riled up all the time?
Why are we even talking about this when we should be focusing on your mother's health? I mean, did you forget the whole reason you texted me in the first place was because you were trying to figure out how your mom was doing? I guess if I accept that you really were just joking about what you were saying, about how you wish your mom was dead, then at least you should still want to know how she's doing now, isn't that right? In fact, if you really were worried, then I think that you would want to go and visit her in the hospital where she is now. So why don't you just go and think about trying to go and make some time so that you can go and see how she's doing for yourself instead of always having to check on your mom through me?
I already told you that I have a lot on my plate with work and can't. Honestly, do you think that all I have is free time on my hands? I have real adult responsibilities that I need to take care of. Why can't you ever appreciate how hard it is that I have to work for the two of us? You pretend like I don't pay attention to anything, but you're the one always overlooking all that I've done. I would go tonight, but I just have a lot of stuff that I need to work on. You want to get it, but I have responsibilities that I can't just shirk and go and check on my sick mom or whatever. You really just have no idea how the world works at all, do you? And just who do you think you are always telling me what to do? You're just a housewife who doesn't even work. So don't go telling me how to live my life. If I wanted advice on how I should spend my time, or what I should be doing, I certainly wouldn't be taking it from someone who sits around the home all day and doesn't even work. You have no idea the kind of things that are on my mind.
I don't see how one thing has anything to do with the other. Honestly, why do you always do this? You always have to try and find a way to spin every single thing that you say against me. And I really, really, really don't like it, Ted. What did I do to you to make you act this way towards me? I mean, shouldn't you be showing me just a little more respect? I'm your wife, for crying out loud.
Well, just give it a rest already, would you? The fact that you're trying to change the subject tells me all that I need to know. You're saying that I always do this, but you're the one who's really always trying to change the subject and make me out to be the bad guy. Maybe if you weren't always doing this, then I wouldn't be doing the kind of things that make you so mad in the first place. Have you ever even thought about that? Anyways, can you just tell me if you think my mom's going to be around for much longer? That was literally all I wanted to know, and you had to go and do what you always do and spin this conversation into areas that has no business being in. Honestly, why can't I ask you just a simple question and have you answer it for me? I really do not understand why you're always trying to make such a big deal out of everything all the time. Don't you ever get sick of being like this?
I seriously just have nothing to say to you at this point, Ted. I mean, really, I try to be patient with you. I try to have adult conversations with you, and you just refuse to hear a single word I say if it goes against what you want reality to be like. I really don't even know what I can do to try and fix things with you at this point, but every single day, I just feel myself getting closer and closer to my breaking point. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, come on! What am I even doing now? I'm asking because I'm worried. Isn't that what you wanted? You said that you were upset at me because you thought that I didn't care about my mom. But here I am asking about my mom, just like you wanted me to. I'm sorry if I'm not doing every little thing that you want me to do in the way that you want me to do them. That's just life. Got it? Well, I guess whatever happens is going to happen. Just keep an eye on her for me, okay? I got work and all that. And if she ever is really getting close to finally keeling over, let me know. That's what I really, really want to know about. Do you understand me?
Hey, Jenny. Really sorry to bother you, but how is Hannah doing? Is everything okay with her? I heard that she was hospitalized, but I haven't really gotten any updates about what might be going on with her since then. And I guess I'm just curious if you know at all what might be going on. I'm gonna taxi my way to the hospital to see her right now. I guess that means that I will find out for myself in not that much time, but still. I just thought that I would ask before I get there so I didn't have to bother Hannah or the nurses or anything with any kind of bothersome questions. You know what I mean?
Hi, Harry. I can't really say for sure. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, after all. But from what I've been able to glean, it doesn't sound like she has much longer. I don't really know what else to say. They've tried explaining it all to me, the doctors, that is, but you know me. I just really can't wrap my head around that kind of thing. But anyways, either way, it sounds like things aren't exactly looking great for my mother-in-law.
Well then, I'll be sure to be there, so I can at least see her this once before. Well, I don't even want to type it out. Just thinking about it really bumming me out. Anyways, I really want to do this because Hannah was always there for me when I was a little kid, and I feel like I owe her so much. I guess you might be able to understand where I'm coming from since she's your mother-in-law and all. But yeah, I just feel like I should have been able to do more for her and now it's too late.
I knew that you two had known each other for a while, but what exactly is the connection between you two again? Sorry, I know that you've explained this to me probably many times already, but I'm not thinking straight these days, and I was hoping you might be able to jog my memory when it comes to all of that. I hope that you can understand.
Oh, yes. Of course I understand where you were coming from. Besides, I know that's not your job to have my whole life story memorized. I really don't mind going over this with you at all. But anyways, let's go back to my story about how I know Hannah and why I feel so close to her. Well, I think you know that growing up, I didn't have the best household to be in as a kid. My dad was always drunk, so after school I would go to Ted's house to play. I'm sure I was a handful to deal with at times, but Hannah was always so welcoming. She was probably the only person I could go to about all my problems. She always gave me a place to hide from all the things in my life that were bothering me while I was growing up.
I see. She really has been such a kind person, hasn't she? In the time that I've known her as my mother-in-law, she's never been anything but welcoming to me. So I guess it really shouldn't come as a surprise at all that she's always been this way. But now that you've told me all of that, I think I can finally understand why it is that you feel so close to Hannah. Thank you for sharing that part of your life with me. I'm sorry that I've probably made you repeat the same story over and over and over again at this point.
They don't make him like her anymore, that's for sure. Also, any news from Ted? Is he there with you? I know that he's busy with work and all of that, but I guess I'm just assuming that he would make time for this. Since this is his mother that we are talking about right now, after all.
Oh, no, Arthur isn't going to be coming to see Hannah. I don't really know what else to say to that. I know he's busy and all, and of course I can respect how hard he works to provide for the both of us, but still, sometimes his attitude can just really start to get under my skin, and I just don't really know how to talk to him about this anymore.
Wait, really? I just called his work and was told that he already has to go home early for today. He was supposed to be here all day, but then he said that something came up suddenly, and anyways, he ended up taking the day off from the office today. I just assumed that he left to go and see his mom. I mean, I really couldn't think of any other reason why he would need to leave the office early today. After all, if his mom was in the hospital, it's not like he should be doing anything else but going to check on his mom in the hospital, don't you think?
He got off work early? But Arthur was telling me that he had to stay at work late tonight to work on some important projects. He never told me anything about planning to use his paid time off to take the day off work today. I really thought that he would have told me about this if he was going to see his mom, but he never told me anything about doing anything like this at all.
Well, I guess I don't really have an idea what's actually going on. I'm sorry if I'm talking about something that really isn't any of my business at all. I really don't mean to intrude on your personal life or anything like that. I just figured that since he is your husband, you would know better about where he is and what he is doing at any given moment than I would. Maybe I just misheard what his office was telling me. It is completely possible that this was just some kind of office gossip that isn't actually true. And that I just misheard and didn't actually know at all about what is going on with him at all. Again, I really didn't mean to speak about anything that isn't any of my business. Especially at such a tough time as this with his mom and all.
Actually, I don't really think that Arthur cares at all what happens to her.
What? Oh, that can't be right. This is his mom that we're talking about. I'm sure that he's so scared for her.
No, I really don't think he has any interest at all in whether his mom lives or dies. I think the only thing on his mind in the moment is how much he's going to make from his inheritance once she's gone. This is the second time that Hannah had to be rushed to the hospital, and he didn't even visit her the first time either.
Wow. I had no idea that was true.
Even when she wasn't at the hospital, Arthur still never really even made an effort to visit his mom at home. Even when he did come over, he would just go up to his old room and only ever come out when it was time to eat. I just don't get what his deal is.
Yeah, that's just so surprising. I mean, who would treat their own mother like that? But then again...
What is it? Then again, what?
Oh, nothing. Thought I had thought of something, but I really don't think it's anything worth mentioning. Anyways, what matters right now is Hannah, and that's who we should be focusing on. Thank you so much for being there for her now, Jenny.
You're right. We can talk about Arthur another time. But please get here quickly. I can't promise that she'll be around much longer.
I'll tell the driver to step on it.
Hey, I want you out of the house by the end of the day. Got it? Make sure you take those divorce papers and drop them off at the courthouse after you leave.
Is that what the envelope you tossed at me when you walked out the door was?
You mean you haven't even opened it to look? Well, yes, they're divorce papers. Can't stand living with you any longer. I don't even see the point. I've been patient enough to stay with you up till now, but no more. We're through, you got it?
I knew it. I knew this was always who you really were deep down. You're pathetic, you know that? I mean, don't you even have any sense of shame?
Oh, please. You want to talk to me about shame? Well, you were more than glad to be leeching off of me all these years. I knew that I was always worth much more than you. The only reason I kept you around was to look after my mom, and that's it.
And just where were you on the day that your mom died, huh?
We've been over this already. I told you that I was busy with work to go and see her. Are you seriously still hung up on the fact that I didn't go to the hospital to watch an old woman die? My work wasn't going to do itself, you know.
And that's what you expect me to believe? That you were really busy with work?
Are you calling me a liar? I don't even know why I'm bothering to talk to you about this. This is pointless. Just get out of the house already. I never want to see you again.
I don't know what I ever saw in you, Ted.
Well, I know that I found a sucker when I married you. You took care of my mom for 8 years, and now I can pay you back with this divorce. Thanks a lot, loser.
Oh, trust me, the pleasure in getting out of this dumpster fire of a marriage is all mine.
Oh, please. I know that you're really crushed over this. You probably thought that you would have gotten to share my inheritance after all the work you put in, huh? That's why you were always pretending to care so much about my poor sick mom. I could see right through you from the very start.
I never once thought about receiving anything from you, Mom. But I'm just glad this whole thing is going to be behind me soon.
You know that you're not happy about this. You don't have to pretend anymore. You're crushed that you have to find your way through the real world with no one to pay for you. I mean, what could an idiot like you possibly do now that you're going to be single? Who's going to buy your food or pay for the house, huh?
Well, it certainly isn't going to be you. Anyways, I have packing to do.
That's right. Just get out of here, you washed-up old cow. Hey, Jenny! So what the heck is going on here, huh? How did you end up getting all my inheritance?
How did I do it? I didn't do anything. It was all distributed according to what your mom put in her will. If you're only going to be asking me stupid questions like that, I would prefer that you not contact me at all.
Wait, no, hold on. That doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm her only son. I should have gotten everything she had. Why'd she give it all to you? I don't get it. You must have done something or threatened her. This isn't right.
Do you really actually think that I threatened your mom? If you want to know about the will, then go talk to your mom's estate lawyer. She was there when your mom wrote it out and made sure it was all above board. I don't know why you're coming to me about this when it's the lawyer whose job it is to deal with all this.
But, I mean, I still don't understand. Why would my own mother do this to me?
You mean you really have no idea why you didn't end up with anything from your mom?
Just doesn't add up. I'm her son. I should have gotten everything. It's as simple as that. Not only that, but I'm her only living family. Dad died and I don't have siblings. Doesn't she realize that means everything should go to me? I still don't get how this happened. You stole everything from me. You had to have done something to her.
Do you really think you deserve anything from your mom after the way that you've treated her for the past 8 years? This all makes perfect sense to me, really. You have barely said a word to her over that entire time. You would visit her house just to eat her food and hide in your home like some moody teenager. And on top of all that, you never visited her either time that she was put in the hospital. How can you go on about being her only child when that's how you've been treating her?
But that isn't fair. I was really busy. I had work to do. How am I supposed to live if I don't work?
That has got to be a joke, right? You do know that we've already been living off your mom for a few years now, right? You never learned how to save money, and we were always having to borrow from her.
But that doesn't mean that I wasn't earning anything. You owe me so much more money for all that I've done for us.
This really is just sad. I can't believe that this is how you're choosing to behave over this.
You think you're so smart just because you robbed me of my inheritance? How will I let you get away with this? How sue you?
Really? You'll sue me? Well, you are more than welcome to try, I suppose.
That's right. I'm her son. And the only reason it seems like I was mean to my mom was because I was too busy from work and always tired. I know that once the judge hears that, he'll order you to pay me everything my mom gave you right away.
Are you still going on about your job? Well, okay then, what exactly were you working on the night that your mom died?
What? You think I remember what I was doing back then? Probably just work stuff.
And you were in the office while you were doing all this work stuff?
Well, duh. Where else do people do work? I go to the office to do my work. That's how work works. I know you never had a job before, but I didn't think I would have to explain that to you.
Well, that just strikes me as interesting because I have it on good authority that you asked to be let out early that night. You weren't in the office the night that your mom went to the hospital for the last time, and you could have gone to visit her.
Wait, no, I mean, I was going to go to the hospital, but then I didn't make it in time.
Oh, really? Because when I called you and asked you to come see her, you said that you were still at work. So, were you on your way to see her, or were you still at work?
I was on my way to see her. I only said I was at work because I wanted to surprise you both and cheer my mom up.
You mean you wanted to try and give your mom a shock while she was in such a fragile state?
No, of course not. I just wanted to try and liven up the mood. I'm sure that everyone was really grim that night, right? I just thought that maybe a surprise visit from her son was just what she would need to turn her health around.
And if you were to sue me, that's really what you would tell the court?
Yes?
Well, let me go ahead and tell you that you're just asking to embarrass yourself if you do that. Just be real with me. What were you doing that took you out of the office but kept you from visiting your mom?
Okay, it's true that I wasn't in the office that night, but I was really doing stuff for work. I just had an important meeting with a client that I couldn't miss under any circumstances. But I really was going to try to make it to the hospital the moment that the interview was over.
I see. And who was this person that you were meeting with? Do you have any proof that this actually happened?
I would tell you, but it was part of a top-secret work project, and I'm not allowed to tell people who aren't involved.
Okay, then, can you at least tell me where you met this person?
Well, it was at a restaurant, near my office.
A restaurant open that late? Sounds to me like you went to a bar. And if it was near your office, it's probably that bar with all the young hostesses, isn't it? Don't answer that, by the way. I've already called them to confirm.
Did you really do all this digging into me?
I didn't do much, actually, but Harry was the one who found out that you had left work earlier than you had told me. Later that night, he called the bar and asked if you had stopped by, and they said you had.
So this is all Harry's fault? That little rat. I thought that him and I used to be friends. How could he do this to me?
Harry also told me that you had taken him to this bar before and were obsessed with a waitress named Mary. He told me that when he called the bar, he was told that it was Mary's birthday that night. I don't believe you, Ted. You really put this waitress's birthday before visiting your own dying mother in the hospital?
No, wait, you don't understand. I already promised her that I would be there for her birthday. Of course I would have gone to the hospital otherwise.
Yeah, I'm sure that you would have. By the way, did you really spend $20,000 at the bar that night?
Is it really that much?
You probably thought that you were going to be getting money from your mom and were just buying everyone drinks, weren't you? Harry told me about how you were bragging about being on the verge of coming into some serious money and kept buying rounds for everyone.
Okay, I'll tell you the whole truth. It's true that I was really looking forward to getting the inheritance from my mom. I realized that I shouldn't have done that, though, and it was wrong of me.
Okay, and?
And so, maybe you could give me some of that money that she left to you? I mean, you know how much I spent at the bar. I'm flat broke right now. I need that cash.
You spent money when you didn't have any, and that's my fault? Besides, we're divorced, remember? Why should I have to give you anything?
No, please! I really am sorry for everything. I was wrong. I see that now.
You have had 8 years to see that now, and you're only seeing it now that you're facing the consequences of your actions? Besides, I'm not the one that you should be apologizing to. Your mom died without ever hearing the words, "I'm sorry," leave your mouth. I gave you so many chances to get closer to your mom and be there for her like I was, but you never did. If you want someone to blame, go look in a mirror. After that, Arthur realized that he was going to be swimming in debt and fled town. I heard that as he was leaving, he called his girlfriend from the bar, Mary, and invited her to run away with him. He explained all that had happened, but once Mary realized it meant Arthur didn't have any money, she blocked his number. Apparently, Arthur came back to town to try and talk to Mary face to face, but when he got there, the police were waiting to arrest him for fleeing his debts, and they took him away. I'm sure that Arthur really regrets his actions now, but it's more than too late for any of that. As for me, I'm trying to rebuild my life and enter the workforce. Thankfully, Harry knew some people who were hiring for a nursing service and told them I had years of experience. To me, nursing is about giving back to the people that helped build the world that we live in today. It may not be perfect, but it still feels good to give back.